Welcome to the Buddhi Academy. My name is Shrutika and today let us continue with the fourth part of our chapter Transport in Plants, Standard Level. So in our previous classes we have covered what is transportation, how transportation happens in plants, what are the mechanism which causes the transportation. Then we have seen how the water plant water relationship is. So today what we will study is uptake and transport of mineral nutrients. So we all know that nutrients and minerals are very essential component for the growth of the plant, and we also know that the minerals are and the nutrients are present in the soil, which get mixed with the water, and then it is taken up by the roots of the plant and then transported through the xylem to other parts of the plant. So xylem is the water conducting tissue which will conduct water from the roots, and then it will supply it to the other parts of the plant. So the uptake of the and transport of mineral nutrients, how it happens in plant, we will study in our today's video. So most of the mineral either enters the roots by active absorption into the cytoplasm of the epidermal cells, because minerals are present in the soil as charged particles, that is they are present as ions which cannot move across the cell membrane. So hence they are getting mixed in water, and then through the water they are transported through the active absorption by the cytoplasm. Then the concentration of ions in the soil is usually lower than the concentration in the root. So active absorption needs energy in form of ATP. So active uptake of ions is also responsible for water potential gradient in the roots. So transport proteins of epidermal cell are control point where quantity and type of solute that reach the xylem is adjusted. So the ions that reach to xylem by active or passive transport move further upward along with transpirational pool. So what is the transpirational pool now? We all know that plants lose water in form of water vapor through the aerial parts of the plant, that is through the stomatal openings. So as the water is getting evaporated, or as the rate of transpiration increases, the uh, absorption of water by the roots also increase, because plant is losing water, so it needs more water. So rate of that transpiration will increase the water absorption by the roots. Then the chief sink of material elements are growing regions of plants like the apical meristem, young leaves, growing flowers and fruits, and the storage organs. The elements most readily mobilized include phosphorus, sulfur, nitrogen, and potassium. The elements like calcium is not mobilized as it is the structural component of the plant body. So these are the mobilizing elements, that is the phosphorus, sulfur, nitrogen, and potassium, which has to be mobilized into the cells. So now how this uptake of mineral and uptake of and transport of mineral nutrients, we have seen that it takes place through the xylem tissue. And how it takes place through xylem tissue we have seen now. So now let us see how the phloem transport happens, that is from the flow from source to sink. So what is a source and what is a sink? So here soluble product of photosynthesis is, that is the food, that is sucrose, which is formed during the process of photosynthesis, is transported to the other parts of the plant through what? Through the phloem tissue. So phloem is basically helps in the transport of sucrose throughout the plant. So this process is called as translocation process, wherein the soluble product of photosynthesis is transported to other parts of the plant through the phloem tissue. So this happens from a source to a sink relationship. So the flow is from a source to a sink. So what is a source? So here, for example, in plants, the source is the leaves, because in the leaves there is chlorophyll, chloroplast, which consists of chlorophyll, which helps in the process of photosynthesis. Basically, the site for photosynthesis is the leaves. So leaves become the source of the food. Then the food that is the soluble product of photosynthesis, that is the sucrose, which is formed during the process of photosynthesis, where in the leaves, that is the source of the food, will be transported to the other parts of the plant, and the other parts of the plant will be what? They will be the sink. So this is how flow from the source to sink happens. So basically source is the place where the food is prepared. So source can be the leaves and sink can be the other parts of the plant. So this is how the source and sink relationship helps in the transportation of the sucrose, which is formed during the photosynthesis by the phloem tissue. So let us understand how this mechanism works, that is how source sink mechanism works. So food sucrose is transported by the phloem from source to sink. The part of the plant that synthesizes food is called as the source, and the part where the food is stored, see over here, is called as source. So the part of the plant that synthesizes the food is called as the source, and the part of the plant where food is used or stored is called as the sink. The source and sink can be reserved by the plant depending upon the season or plant need. So the direction of the movement is in the phloem is bidirectional, that is in both the direction. So phloem sap is mainly water and sucrose, but other organ hormones, but other sugars, hormones and amino acids are also translocated through it. So this source sink relationship happens because of the pressure flow or mass flow hypothesis. So let us understand how this pressure flow or mass flow hypothesis helps in the translocation of the sugar from the source to sink. So it is the most accepted theory for the translocation of sugar from source to sink. So glucose is prepared at the source by photosynthesis, which is converted into disaccharide, that is sugar. Sugar moves into the companion cell and then into the sieve tubes by active transport. Loading of the phloem at source creates a water potential gradient that facilitates the mass movement in the phloem. Sieve tubes and the companion cells, these are the parts of the phloem tissue. So sieve tubes of phloem forms a column with holes in their walls called as the sieve plate. Cytoplasmic strands pass through the holes in the sieve plate to form continuous filament. Hydrostatic pressure developed in sieve tube cells moves the sap in the phloem. At the sink, incoming sugar is actively moved out of the phloem as complex carbohydrates, and the loss of solute produced as a high water potential in phloem, and water passes out and returning into the xylem. So this is how the pressure flow or mass flow hypothesis help in the translocation of sugar from the source to the sink in the phloem tissue. So today what we have learned is uptake and transport of the mineral nutrients throughout xylem tissue, then phloem transport, that is translocation of the sucrose from the source to the sink, and how this translocation happens through the mass flow hypothesis. So thank you for watching today's video. Please don't forget to like, comment, share and subscribe to the Bodhi Academy.